Okay, let's unpack this. Exercise science heavyweight Dr. Mike from Renaissance Periodization, breaking down Joe Rogan and Action Bronson's workout.
Yeah, talk about an unexpected power trio.
Right, but get this. Their conversation, it's absolutely loaded with smart insights on how to train, eat, and just, be healthier overall.
What's fascinating right off the bat is taking this like casual YouTube chat and seeing the actual science underneath it all.
Totally.
You've got a competitive bodybuilder, a jiu-jitsu black belt, looking at the moves of a comedian and a chef rapper. It's real-world fitness talk, cutting through a lot of the usual noise.
Exactly. So for this deep dive, we're basically pulling the highlights reel straight from the transcript of that RP video, our
Right.
mission, to pull out the most valuable, actionable stuff on fitness and nutrition that came up.
Makes sense.
And for you listening, we're aiming for clarity, keeping it engaging, getting those aha moments, without getting bogged down in super technical jargon.
Yeah. Keep it practical.
Trust me, there's some real surprises in here.
So it probably raises an important question right at the start. What exactly was this workout? This hell of a series they tackled?
Good question.
Because it wasn't just random, right? There
Yeah.
was a specific structure Dr. Mike had, well, things to say about it.
You got it. The workout started with bodyweight squats and push-ups, pretty standard start.
Okay.
Then it went into 3 sets of 10 reps per arm for a bunch of kettlebell stuff.
All right, for kettlebells.
Yeah, kettlebell swings, kettlebell clean and presses, kettlebell windmills, and renegade rows. 10 each arm, 3 sets.
Wow.
Seriously, just listing that makes my shoulders ache a little bit.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And Dr. Mike's overall take, what did he think of that routine?
His overall assessment was really positive, actually. He called it a pretty intense whole-body workout.
Intense, yeah, I bet.
And he emphasized how good it is for building strength, hypertrophy, that's muscle growth, obviously, improving your cardiovascular health, and just general conditioning. He specifically mentioned that keeping the rest periods short really amps up the intensity.
Ah, the short rests. That'll get you, especially with kettlebells involved.
Definitely. But here's where it gets really interesting. Dr. Mike had some specific opinions on some of those exercises.
Oh, really? Like which ones?
Let's start with the kettlebell swing. He said, they can be fun, good for getting blood flowing.
Okay, a warm-up kind of thing?
Sort of, yeah. But he doesn't see them as the optimal way to achieve specific goals. He did add, though, that, other experts might disagree.
That's a fair point. It highlights how you choose exercises, right?
Yeah.
Just because something's popular or feels good doesn't mean it's the best tool for your specific job, your training goal.
Exactly.
His assessment is based on, what science shows gives the biggest bang for your buck. Muscle strength gains.
Right.
And swings, while they get your heart rate up, maybe don't provide that same stimulus compared to other stuff.
Now, the kettlebell clean and press that got a much more enthusiastic thumbs up from him.
Ah, okay. What did he like about that one?
He highlighted how many muscle groups it works. You're pulling, using your legs, pushing overhead, shoulders are involved.
A full body move almost.
Pretty much. He sees it as fantastic for burning calories, improving how you move, boosting cardio fitness, and building both muscle and strength. Especially, he noted, if you're just starting out.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a compound exercise, forces everything to work together. That's usually pretty efficient training. Big impact.
Totally.
Yeah.
Then moving on to the kettlebell windmill.
What, windmill? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a tricky one.
Yeah, his main focus there was on range of motion. He suggested starting with lighter weights, definitely, and really emphasize gradually working into the full movement over time.
That's really practical advice. Don't just jump into the deep end with something complex like a windmill.
Exactly. Nail the technique first.
It's that whole principle of progressive overload again, isn't it? Gradually increasing the demand.
Yeah.
And getting the form right before you add weight or intensity.
It is. Steady progress, not rushing and risking injury.
Makes total sense.
Now, Joe Rogan, as, well, pretty much everyone knows, is big on core strength.
Yeah.
Dr. Mike touched on this. He mentioned that while kettlebell work can contribute, his preferred methods for a really strong core involve more resistance.
Okay, so not just holding planks forever.
Right. Think exercises like deficit deadlifts, knee-to-face raises, weighted sit-ups, weighted crunches, machine crunches, all done with that progressive overload idea.
Adding weight over time.
Yeah. He believes this builds stronger core through dynamic movement, not just relying on, static holds or only the kettlebell stuff.
That's an important distinction. Stability is key, sure, but he's pushing for strength through the full motion. That probably translates better to, real life in sports, maybe better for injury prevention too.
Seems logical. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
Body image.
Okay. Big topic.
Dr. Mike had a pretty direct message about it. I think it's something everyone can kind of relate to. He basically said, and I'm paraphrasing slightly, you look how you look. You've got two choices: accept it or put in the work to change it.
Wow, straight to the point.
Yeah. But the key thing was that just being inactive and hating on yourself, totally unproductive.
That's really powerful and kind of cuts through a lot of the usual negativity, doesn't it? Puts the control back with the individual.
Right. You have agency, accept it, or take steps. But sitting around feeling bad does nothing.
A dead end, basically.
Yeah. It really ties into taking ownership, wherever you're starting from. Now, Dr. Mike also expressed some real admiration for Joe Rogan's physique.
Okay.
Especially considering he's, 57 now,
Yeah.
and lives that kind of Hollywood lifestyle, which, let's be honest, often doesn't lead to great health outcomes for a lot of people.
That's true. It's easy to let things slide with that kind of success and access.
But Dr. Mike credits Rogan's health to his concerted effort, consistent training, a mindful approach to diet. Whether he's doing low carb or not at the moment, the effort is there.
Consistency, that seems to be the magic word.
Absolutely. Dr. Mike holds him up as a great example of long-term commitment to health. It's not about the quick fix, the fad diet.
Yeah.
It's making it a sustainable part of life.
That's a message we can all probably take something from.
Definitely.
Rogan's example really shows that discipline and consistency often matter more than the exact details of the plan. Find something that works for you and stick with it.
Well said. Okay, now let's talk about how this kind of training might apply to beginners. Specifically, martial arts beginners, using jiu-jitsu as the example.
Okay, interesting angle.
Dr. Mike said that for white belts, people just starting jiu-jitsu who maybe don't have a lot of prior physical training,
Yeah.
this type of workout, the bodyweight and kettlebell routine we described, is, and this is a direct quote, fucking unbelievable when you combine it with maybe 2 or 3 jiu-jitsu sessions a week.
Fucking unbelievable. Okay. Why is so good for them?
His reasoning is pretty insightful. For beginners, this workout hits the cardio system hard.
Which they probably need.
Exactly. And it helps build that initial base of muscle and strength. It complements the physical demands and the recovery needed when you first start jiu-jitsu. Because early on, you're not rolling intensely enough usually to max out your cardio just from class.
Ah, I see. So the extra conditioning is super beneficial at that stage. Build the engine.
Yeah, builds a solid foundation. Then he contrasted this with more advanced jiu-jitsu folks.
Right, the upper belts.
Their strength training tends to shift more towards heavier compound lifts with barbells, dumbbells, sets of 5-10 reps, building that Gore Ryan unfortunate strength, as he put it, just raw power.
Uh-huh. Okay. That makes sense, though. It highlights specificity in training again. As you get better, your training needs to get more specific to your sport's demands.
Exactly.
For top grapplers, that often means maximal strength in movements that directly help on the mat.
Okay, let's dive into food and weight management. Always a hot topic.
Always. Where do they start?
The conversation kicked off with Joe in Action, kind of joking about pasta being the enemy, for weight gain. And that led Dr. Mike into a really interesting breakdown.
The pasta blame game. Okay.
Yeah. And what's really insightful is Dr. Mike's focus. He zoned in on 2 core principles. Food palatability, basically, how tasty something is.
Right, how much you want to eat it.
Exactly. And calorie density, which is just the number of calories packed into a certain amount, like per bite or per gram.
Okay, palatability and calorie density.
He argues those 2 things are the biggest drivers when it comes to managing your weight.
That simplifies things quite a bit, actually.
He gave some clear examples, too, like fresh melons. Low calorie density, you can eat a ton without that many calories, so it's hard to overeat.
Right, lots of water fills you up.
Then compare that to pasta with olive oil. High calorie density, lots of calories in a small serving, maybe not as filling.
Gotcha.
And he called out what he terms obesogenic foods.
Obesogenic, meaning tending to cause obesity.
Pretty much. Things like burgers, pizza, those super tasty pasta dishes, ice cream, potato chips, often high in calories and incredibly palatable. A dangerous combo. Makes them easy to overeat.
And Action Bronson's perspective as a chef must be so relevant there. He's literally surrounded by amazing high-calorie food all the time.
Exactly. It perfectly illustrates that challenge of managing weight when tasty options are everywhere.
So what's the practical advice then? What did Dr. Mike suggest?
Focus on foods with lower calorie density. Fresh veggies, fruits, whole grains. Things with lots of volume, lots of water or fiber. They help you feel fuller with fewer calories.
Pull up on the good stuff first.
Yeah. He even made the point that most of our regular meals don't need to be these amazing gourmet experiences. Eating basic, filling foods most of the time can actually make it pretty hard not to lose weight if you have excess body fat.
That tracks with a lot of solid nutrition advice. Prioritize nutrient-dense, lower-calorie foods. It helps manage intake without relying purely on willpower.
Which is tough.
Yeah, that suitcase analogy works. Pack lots of light, bulky clothes, low density, or a few small, heavy bricks, high density, in the same suitcase, your stomach.
Good analogy. He also briefly mentioned genetics playing a role in our food drive. You know, how much we just really enjoy and think about food.
So some people naturally want food more than others.
Seems like it. And this led into talking about modern weight loss medications. Semaglutide, tirzepatide, the stuff in Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound.
Okay, the GLP-1 drugs.
Right. Dr. Mike suggested these meds, which can help lower that food drive, are actually safe and can be really beneficial for people genuinely struggling with obesity. But crucially, always under medical guidance.
That's key. He's presenting them as a tool, right, to help manage a biological factor, that drive to eat, which can be a huge hurdle for some people.
Exactly. And he stressed consulting a doctor. They aren't magic, they have side effects, need supervision.
Absolutely. Proper medical context is vital.
This brings us neatly to what Dr. Mike called the Italy food myth.
Oh, boy. Here we go. The idea that you can eat pasta all day in Italy and not gain weight.
That's the one. His take was,
well,
pretty straightforward.
Let me guess, it's not the pasta itself.
Bingo. He challenges that idea directly, says there's nothing inherently magical about Italian pasta preventing weight gain.
So what is it then? Or what might it be?
He points to other factors, maybe genetic differences in the population, generally higher levels of daily physical activity, more walking, less driving.
Okay, lifestyle stuff.
Yeah, less reliance on convenient processed foods, maybe? Eating meals together as a family, taking more time. And he even, kind of jokingly, mentioned potentially higher smoking rates in the past, acting as an appetite suppressant.
Okay, covering all the bases there.
And he also tackled the GMO wheat thing head on.
Oh, the idea that GMO wheat is somehow worse for you or more fattening.
Exactly. He stated very clearly that GMO wheat is no more likely to cause weight gain or be unhealthy than non-GMO wheat. His point was, all modern wheat has been heavily genetically modified over thousands of years through selective breeding. It's not new.
That's a really important clarification. The term GMO gets thrown around a lot without that context.
He also clarified the folate versus folic acid thing.
Right, folate's natural folic acid is added to enriched flour.
Yep. He suggested our bodies might handle the natural folate better, but importantly, he noted that enriched flour itself often has higher calorie density and less fiber than whole grains.
So it's easier to eat more of the foods made with enriched flour, like cookies or white bread, because they're often more palatable and less filling.
Precisely. It's not the folic acid itself making you gain weight, but the characteristics of the highly processed foods it's often found in.
Got it. That makes much more sense.
There was one last really practical piece of advice that came up, going back to the exercises, specifically challenging ones like the windmill.
Okay, what was that?
Dr. Mike really stressed gradual progression. If you can't do it perfectly right away with full range and good technique, just start partially.
Don't force it.
Right. Gradually increase your range. Refine your technique over time. Think reps, sets, sessions, weeks, months, consistent effort.
That's such a fundamental principle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not just for lifting, but for learning almost anything. Patience, persistence. Mastery takes time.
Totally. It's a great reminder you don't need to be perfect instantly. Small, steady improvements are the real key to getting there long term.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, so just to quickly recap the big takeaways from this deep dive into Dr. Mike's chat with Rogan and Bronson. That workout, pretty solid, well-rounded, hits multiple things.
Intense, but good, yeah.
Consistency is absolutely king for long-term health. Rogan's a prime example.
Discipline over the long haul.
For beginners in tough activities like jiu-jitsu, combining body weight and kettlebells early on, fucking unbelievable, apparently.
Builds that base, yeah.
And managing weight really boils down to understanding food palatability and calorie density.
How tasty versus how many calories per bite. Key concepts.
With modern meds, maybe offering some help for those with a really strong biological drive to eat under doctor supervision.
A potential tool in the toolbox.
And finally, gradual progression. Start where you are, build slowly. Applies to everything.
We also got some good myth-busting in there. No magic Italian pasta, GMO wheat isn't the villain it's made out to be. Just sound evidence-based stuff.
Definitely. So here's a final thought, something for you listening to kind of chew on. Take a second to think about your own relationship with food palatability and calorie density.
Yeah, what are your trigger foods? The ones that are just too tasty and easy to overeat.
And, based on Dr. Mike's advice, what small, sustainable change could you maybe make? Focusing on lower density foods, perhaps?
Also, think about that consistency Joe Rogan shows with his fitness. Are there other areas in your life where applying that same dedication, that same long-term view could really pay off?
Really important questions to ponder, for sure. Understanding these core ideas gives you power to make better choices.
Absolutely. It's about taking control based on sound principles.
Well, thanks so much for taking this deep dive with us today. We really hope this breakdown gave you some practical knowledge, maybe challenged a few assumptions.
Oh, it was useful.
Until our next deep dive,